Once there was a beggar living at a railway station in a city. He used to beg from the passengers traveling in the trains to fill his stomach. One day, while he was begging, he saw a tall man wearing a suit and tie. The beggar thought to himself that this person seemed very rich, and if he asked him for alms, he would surely give him a good amount of money. The beggar approached the tall man and started begging. Seeing the beggar, the tall man said, "You always keep begging. Don't you ever give anything to anyone?" The beggar replied, "Sir, I am a beggar. I only ask from others. I don't have anything to give to anyone." The tall man said, "If you can't give anything to someone, then you don't have the right to beg. I am a businessman, and I believe in transactions. If you have something to give, only then can I give you something in return." After saying this, the tall man boarded a train and left. The beggar thought about the tall man's words. He felt that maybe he wasn't getting much in alms because he had nothing to offer in return. But being a beggar, he thought, how could he give anything? After thinking for a while, he decided that from now on, whenever someone gave him alms, he would give something in return. But then he wondered, since he was a beggar, what could he give? For 2 days, he couldn't find an answer to this question. On the third day, as he was sitting near the station, he noticed some flowers blooming around the plants. He thought, why not give flowers in return for alms? He liked this idea and picked a few flowers. The next day, when he went to beg at the train station, he started giving flowers to the people who gave him alms. The people were happy to receive the flowers and kept them with them. Soon the beggar noticed that more and more people were giving him alms. He would pick flowers and distribute them, and as long as he had flowers, he received many alms. However, when the flowers were over, he didn't get anything. This continued for some time. One day, while begging, the beggar saw the same tall man sitting in the train. He immediately approached the man and, as usual, asked for alms. The beggar said, "Today, I have flowers to give in return. Please give me alms, and I will give you some flowers in return." The tall man gave him some money, and the beggar gave him the flowers. The tall man liked the idea and said, "Wow, today you've become a businessman like me." After this encounter, the beggar kept thinking about the tall man's words. The words kept echoing in his mind, and he felt as though he had found the key to success that could change his life. His eyes started to shine with excitement, and he felt that he could change his life now. He immediately got off the train, looked up at the sky and shouted, "I am not a beggar. I am a businessman. I can become rich." People around him thought he had gone mad, and the next day, the beggar was never seen at the station again. But 6 months later, the same station saw 2 well-dressed men traveling together. They greeted each other, and one said to the other, "Do you recognize me?" The other man said, "No, I think this is our first meeting." The first man smiled and said, "No, we've met twice before. I am the beggar you spoke to." The second man smiled in surprise and said, "Oh, I remember now. You were the beggar I once refused to give alms to, and the second time I bought flowers from you. But now you're dressed in a suit. Where are you going, and what are you doing these days?" The first man replied, "Yes, I am that beggar, but today I'm a big flower merchant. I'm going to another city for my business." He continued, "After our first meeting, I realized that the reason people were giving me alms was because they were actually paying for the flowers. I understood that I was not a beggar, but a small merchant. I started thinking big and realized that I could be successful. Today, I'm a flower merchant, and I'm traveling for my business." The 2 men, now successful traders, got off the train at the station, chatting about their businesses. This story teaches us a valuable lesson. The tall businessman understood the principle of give and take very well. The beggar adopted this principle, and it changed his life. He shifted his mindset, and his life transformed. The moral of the story is that if we change our thinking, we can achieve anything. If we always think of ourselves as small, we will remain small. To become big, we need to think big and have self-respect. Success lies in our thinking. If we change our thoughts, we can reach the heights of success.